How many times have you promised yourself you'd do something only to quit halfway through? It's not because you're lazy or unmotivated, it's because you've been doing it the hard way. Most people think accountability is about relying on others, but what if I told you the real power is relying on yourself? Today, I'll show you how to unlock a version of accountability that works because it puts you in control. Here's the thing, relying on motivation alone is a trap. It fades. Instead, build accountability into your environment by creating triggers and removing the obstacles that stand in your way. Start with visual reminders. If you're trying to work out more, place your gym clothes where you can see them. They'll act as a visual cue to get you moving. Personally, I use a calendar where I make a check mark every day that I stick to my goals. For example, going to the gym. Seeing those check marks over time is incredibly motivating. By the way, these aren't things you'll need to do forever. They're just small hacks that'll get you going until you build those habits. Anyway, accountability isn't just about reminders, it's also about reducing temptation. For instance, if you're trying to stop snacking late at night, don't rely on willpower. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience because I've learned this the hard way. I love eating popcorn, right? But every time I tell myself, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it and it's gonna last, I'm not gonna eat the whole thing. Of course, it never did. I can finish a whole bag of popcorn in one sitting without even thinking about it. So what's the better solution? I just avoid buying it altogether. Why? Because your environment can make or break your success. If you have a problem getting up when your alarm goes off, let's say you love to hit the snooze button, just do what I do. Make your alarm a song instead of a sound. I love this one because it reminds me that it's time to get to work. You can even use an obnoxious sound that is really annoying and put your phone across the room. If social media is distracting you from your goals, just remove it from your home screen so you don't see it all the time. The key is to make success as easy as possible by removing the obstacles that require unnecessary willpower. One of the biggest mistakes we make when setting goals is starting too big. I know we'd love to lose 10 pounds by next week, but let's start with 1 pound. Want to work out every day? Start with 20 minutes. Want to save money? Start with $5 a week. Success builds on success, and the smaller the win, the easier it is to keep going. When I wanted to get into reading books about growing myself, I started by reading just 1 page a day. That's it. Over time, that turned into a full chapter. The key here is consistency. Small, consistent wins are the building blocks of long-term success. If you're new to holding yourself accountable, focus on just one small habit or just one small change. For example, maybe commit to waking up an extra 15 minutes earlier every day, or maybe just drinking an extra glass of water. Don't overwhelm yourself by fixating on the end goal. These micro actions not only feel more manageable, they're gonna build confidence and momentum that will carry you forward. Big goals are achieved through small, consistent actions. I can't say that enough. If your goal is to eat healthier, every single meal doesn't need to be healthy right away. Start by eating 1 healthy meal a day. Just 1, but do it every day. Over time, you can add in more healthy meals throughout the day. Also, bear in mind that an extremely rigid schedule could set you up for failure as well. Life happens, right? I like to block out times for key tasks and key things I need to do, but I always leave a little bit of room, maybe an extra 30 minutes or so, just in case something happened that I wasn't planning on. That way, if something do pop up, which a lot of times it does, I can adjust, but I won't feel like a complete failure. Flexibility doesn't mean slacking off though, okay? It means being realistic about life's curveballs while still prioritizing what matters. So start small, stay consistent, and create a system that adapts to you. Accountability doesn't have to feel like a chore. In fact, the more enjoyable and engaging you make it, the more likely you are to stick to it. You want to turn it into a game so that discipline becomes something you look forward to. I like to do mini challenges. So for example, I'll ask myself, can I do 10 push-ups every day for a whole week? This is good because I'm starting small like we already discussed before, but I'm also building my confidence and my momentum. Then I look at how fast I'm doing them and I try to go a little bit faster every day. So have fun tracking your progress and compete with yourself. yourself. Try to beat your personal best, whether it's running a faster mile or saving a little bit more money this month than you did last month. Make sure you're rewarding yourself as well, because rewards play a crucial role in staying motivated. Maybe treat yourself to a spa day, or even just give yourself extra time to do something you love. When I stopped drinking alcohol consistently for 3 months, I treated myself to something I've been wanting for a long time. It's not about the treat itself, it's about celebrating the commitment it took to get there. Rewards help us create a positive association with effort and discipline, turning accountability into a cycle of motivation. Another thing you can also do is add stakes, because adding stakes can make accountability even more effective. For example, I have an accountability jar, so every time I skip a planned workout, I put $5 in the jar. And here's the catch. I'm not allowed to spend it on myself. Instead, I have to give it away. Yes, giving it away is still a really good thing, but it stings just enough to get me to rethink skipping my workout, especially if I'm trying to budget. On the flip side, when I do hit my goals for the month or 3 months, whatever I set up, I reward myself with something I've been looking forward to. This system works because it balances meaningful consequences with motivating rewards. Remember, willpower is finite. The more you rely on willpower alone, the more likely you are to burn out. That's why designing systems, whether through mini challenges, rewards, or stakes, it helps us reduce the need to constantly feel like we have to push through. Accountability then becomes less about force and more about flow. Let's talk about the silent killer of accountability: procrastination. Most people think procrastination is about being lazy. It's really not. Procrastination is about dodging discomfort. When we procrastinate, we're trying to avoid things that feel either overwhelming, boring, or hard. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling on your phone or zoning out or taking time to do something, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what am I avoiding and why? Are we procrastinating because we have a fear of failure? Are we procrastinating because we don't know where to start? Asking these questions are good, because once we identify the root, we can then tackle the problem head on. Another way to interrupt procrastination is to reframe the task itself. For example, instead of thinking, I have to finish this entire paper, maybe just think, you know what? I'm just gonna work on the first paragraph. And once you get started, there's a possibility that you're gonna get into a rhythm and you're just gonna keep going. If not, you just finish the paragraph, take a break, and then go back later. Procrastination thrives in the space between intention and action. So close the gap. Another really good way to hold yourself accountable is through self-contracts. Most of us are guilty of making vague promises to ourselves. We'll say something like, I'll start working out, or I'll eat healthier. This sounds great in theory, but vague promises lead to vague results. Game-changing accountability starts with treating your promises like they're contracts, clear and non-negotiable. Here's how you make your self-contract work. The first thing you want to do is be specific. Telling yourself something like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym for 1 hour, that doesn't give you enough of a roadmap to follow. Instead, you want to say something like, I'll do 30 minutes of strength training every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. This is better because the more specific you are, the easier it is for you to follow through. The next thing you want to do is write it down, because a contract isn't verbal. In this case, at least, it's written. Take time to write down your goals, add deadlines, and exactly how you're going to measure your success, because seeing your commitment in writing is going to make it real and it's going to make it tangible. And then you want to sign it. Yes, physically sign your contract, even though it sounds a little odd, I know, but signing your name, transform it from a simple casual intention into a pact that you make with yourself. When you treat your promises to yourself with the same seriousness that you'd give a contract with someone else, it changes the game. You're no longer relying on willpower. You're no longer hoping for the best. You're committing to yourself in a way that's structured, clear, and motivating. So why does accountability matter? When you hold yourself accountable, you're not just crossing things off a list, you're building trust with yourself. That trust is what turns feeling stuck into waking up with a purpose. Most people think accountability means having someone else nagging you or checking in, but it doesn't. Real accountability comes from systems and strategies and a commitment to yourself. Can you trust yourself to follow through in what you said you'd do? Accountability isn't about perfection, it's about progress. You'll get more done in less time. You'll feel more confident because you'll know you can rely on yourself to follow through. And surprise, your stress will go down. When you show up for yourself, you build momentum, confidence, and control over your life. It's not just something you do, it's a way to honor yourself and your goals. Lastly, as your own accountability partner, you want to make sure you're tracking your progress, okay? It isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about keeping tabs along the way as well. People fail because they wait until they get to whatever timeline that they set up to measure their success. Self-checkpoints add a whole new layer to accountability because they allow you to adjust before it's too late. For example, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds in the next 4 months. You can set a milestone of losing 5 pounds per month. And then the end of each month would be your checkpoint. So you would see, did I lose the 5 pounds? If you did, great. You can celebrate yourself. You can reward yourself. If you didn't lose the 5 pounds, you can do an assessment and see, what went wrong? Like, where did we slip up? Or what adjustments can I make moving forward? When you're doing the assessment, though, you want to make sure that you're not applying guilt. If you're falling behind on your goal, just look for ways to adjust your approach. Missteps happen, and they aren't failures. They're just data to help us improve. That's why it's so important to track your goals and measure your success along the way, because it allows you to course correct. At the end of the day, being your own accountability partner means showing up for yourself even when it's hard. It's about building trust and staying committed because no one else can do this for you. And hey, it's okay to have a little fun along the way, even if that means having a talk with yourself. Now you know we've talked about this. You can't eat the entire bag. It's not in the plan. Relax, I'll just do some extra cardio next week. Oh, sure. And let's pretend yesterday's snackathon didn't happen. Put the bag down. If you found value in this video, you're definitely gonna like this next video.